Disturbing stories of tragic deaths. When we delve into the history books or browse through the annals of online archives, we're often met with stories that are as disturbing as they are tragic. These tales, spanning centuries and continents, leave us with more questions than answers and a lingering sense of unease about the mysterious and sometimes macabre nature of human fate. In this video, we explore some of the most chilling and disturbing stories of tragic deaths, from curses that seem to leap from the pages of fiction to inexplicable murders that remain unsolved to this day. The Hammersmith Ghost. The early 1800s in London's Hammersmith district were marked by an atmosphere of fear and superstition, as tales of a spectral apparition spread rapidly among the local population. This entity, dubbed the Hammersmith Ghost, was reportedly the spirit of a man who, having taken his own life, was buried in unconsecrated ground within the local churchyard. The accounts of its appearances varied, with many witnesses describing encounters with a ghastly figure draped in white, instigating widespread panic and hysteria within the community. As the fear escalated, a local individual named Francis Smith decided to take matters into his own hands, armed with the belief that he could put an end to the ghost haunting. On a cold night in January 1804, Smith roamed the streets near the churchyard, shotgun in hand, ready to confront the apparition. His vigil came to a tragic end when he encountered a figure dressed in white. Believing it to be the ghost, Smith fired his weapon, only to discover he had killed Thomas Millwood, a bricklayer who habitually wore white clothes for work. This devastating incident catapulted the Hammersmith ghost story from local folklore to a national controversy, sparking debates on the consequences of superstition and the dangers of vigilant justice. Smith's subsequent trial for murder highlighted the thin line between fear-driven actions and their irreversible outcomes. He was initially convicted of murder, but his sentence was later commuted to manslaughter, reflecting the societal turmoil and conflicted feelings surrounding the case. The Hammersmith ghost story remains one of London's most disturbing tales, not only because of the tragic and needless death of Thomas Millwood, but also due to the light it sheds on the human capacity for hysteria and the lengths to which people will go when driven by fear. The ghostly sightings ceased after the incident, but the story continues to be a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting fear and superstition dictate one's actions. This event left an indelible mark on Hammersmith and the broader discourse on how societies respond to the unexplained, making it a fascinating and unsettling chapter in the annals of London's history. Alcatraz's whole ghost. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, a name synonymous with notoriety and despair, carries with it stories that penetrate the barriers of reality and venture into the realm of the paranormal. Among the numerous ghost tales that shroud this infamous island prison in mystery, the narrative of the solitary confinement cell, known ominously as the Hole, in Cell Block D, stands out for its sheer terror and unexplained nature. Cell 14D, to be precise, has been the center of a deeply unsettling account that continues to intrigue and disturb those who delve into Alcatraz's haunted history. On a particularly dark night, entrenched within the suffocating walls of Cell 14D, an inmate's cries shattered the silence. The convict, left to endure the pitch-black solitude of the Hole, was heard screaming that a malevolent entity with glowing eyes was haunting his cell, intent on taking his life. The distressed calls for help persisted throughout the night, echoing off the cold, unyielding concrete until morning light, when an eerie quiet had taken hold. Guards found the inmate lifeless, his body cold, with marks around his neck indicative of strangulation. The chilling aspect of this tale lies not only in the mysterious death, but also in the fact that the cell was securely locked from the outside, leaving no explanation as to how or by whom the strangulation was executed. In the aftermath of this macabre incident, Alcatraz's already grim atmosphere grew denser with tales of the supernatural. Guards and prisoners alike reported inexplicable phenomena near Cell 14D, cold spots that would appear suddenly, defying the laws of physics, and disembodied moans that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the cell block, suggested an unrest that transcended the physical confines of the prison. These occurrences have led some to speculate that whatever entity was alleged to have tormented the inmate to death might still linger, bound to the site of its malevolent deed. The story of the whole ghost of Alcatraz not only adds a layer of paranormal intrigue to the already dark history of the prison, but also invites reflection on the nature of isolation and despair faced by those incarcerated within its walls. The tale of Cell 14D remains a potent reminder of the unseen forces that some believe can pervade even the most fortified of human constructs, leaving behind mysteries that perhaps are better left unexplored. The Spring-Heeled Jack Case. The legend of Spring-Heeled Jack first emerged in the Victorian era, capturing the public's imagination and stoking fears across England. Characterized by his extraordinary ability to leap over high walls and buildings, Spring-Heeled Jack became an almost mythical figure of terror. Eyewitness accounts varied, but many agreed on his devilish appearance, complete with fiery eyes and metallic claws, which he reportedly used to attack his victims, primarily women. One of the most harrowing encounters was reported by Jane Alsop in February 1838. Alsop recounted how a man approached her family's home, claiming to be a police officer who needed a light to find Spring-Heeled Jack, who he claimed was caught in the nearby lane. Trustingly, Alsop handed him a candle, only for the man to throw off his cloak, revealing a horrifying figure who then proceeded to tear at her clothes and skin with his claws. Despite Alsop's screams and the intervention of her sisters, the assailant made an extraordinary escape, leaping away with ease. This incident, among others, contributed to a near-hysterical level of panic and fascination. Newspapers of the time were filled with speculative articles and sensationalist reports, fueling the fire of Spring-Heeled Jack's infamy. Despite efforts by the authorities to capture this elusive figure, he remained at large, with sightings spreading as far as Liverpool and Scotland. Each account added to the lore, with some suggesting that Spring-Heeled Jack possessed supernatural powers that allowed him to evade capture and continue his reign of terror. The Hinterkaifeck Farm Murders. The enigmatic and gruesome events that transpired at Hinterkaifeck Farm in 1922 have cemented their place in the annals of criminal history as a bewildering and horrifying mystery. Nestled in the quiet countryside near Munich, Germany, the small farm became the backdrop for a crime that has puzzled experts and enthusiasts alike for decades. On a seemingly ordinary day, the farm's 6 inhabitants, spanning 3 generations of the Gruber family, met their tragic end through the merciless strikes of a pickaxe. What sets this case apart from other brutal crimes, aside from the brutality inflicted upon the victims, is the bizarre behavior exhibited by the perpetrator in the aftermath of the murders. In the days following the heinous acts, evidence suggested that the murderer didn't immediately flee the scene, but instead lingered on the premises. This unknown individual carried out daily chores around the farm, such as feeding the cattle and even consuming food from the family's own kitchen. Such actions paint a chilling picture of a killer who felt comfortable, perhaps even at home, within the walls of the crime scene. Investigations into the Hinterkaifeck murders were exhaustive and spanned several years, involving numerous interviews and the examination of countless theories. Suspects ranged from disgruntled neighbors to transient vagrants, yet no conclusive evidence was ever presented that could definitively point to the murderer. In a twist that further complicates the narrative, reports surfaced indicating that the Gruber family had been experiencing strange occurrences prior to the murders, including mysterious footsteps in the attic and unfamiliar objects appearing on the property. These unsettling details suggest a premeditated act carried out with intimate knowledge of the family and their routines. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.